What's going on, BookTube? Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be exploring the Spotify application on the desktop to see how it compares to Audible, and I'm doing this after Brandon Sanderson announced in the State of Sanderson that authors could potentially get paid a lot more on sites such as Spotify and Speechify compared to putting their stuff on Audible. So if you watch my channel, you know that I'm a huge fan of Audible. They have made Audible books affordable and easy to use for listeners around the world. I first started using Audible a lot and became an Audible member when I was a mailman for the post office, and I was listening to audiobooks all the time, and I've been a member since. I do a lot of my reading or listening with Audible. But with that being said, if I could find another platform that helps authors make more money, that treats them a little bit more fairly, I am down to explore those options. So I wanted to go through the Spotify app a little bit and see how it functions as a platform specifically for audiobooks. So as you can see, I'm doing this on the desktop because I explored a little bit on the mobile application and it is terrible. The mobile application is not usable. You can't purchase things on there. It's hard to search for audiobooks on there. I highly recommend just staying away from the application at all and doing all of your searching on the desktop. All right, jumping straight into this, there were a few things I wanted to point out straight away. I'm going to actually start by looking up Dune, which is one of my favorite books of 2022. So the first thing I want to point is always check it out, because this Dune audiobook is $34, and you could buy this for an Audible credit, which costs anywhere between $11 if you buy them in a pack of 3, all the way up to $15, which is the Audible monthly membership. So the very first thing I noticed about Spotify in general is that their pricing isn't as competitive for all books. And that's something to make clear straight out of the gate, is that Audible is still the most competitive as far as price points go. And that's important to note, because for a lot of us, Audible, it made listening affordable for us. And I feel like Audible still does a great job at making all the books accessible to readers. When we look at other books such as Promise of Blood, it's just a little bit over. So this is $23.90 compared to a credit, which is roughly $15. The same goes for Leviathan Wakes. It's around that $23 price point. And you can decide whether or not that $8 difference, $7 difference is enough to support the author a little bit more on Spotify, or buy with an Audible credit. And because I do know that maybe you listen to 2 or 3 audiobooks a month and you use the 2-for-1 deals on the Audible app, and that's how you're able to listen and support more authors. Instead of supporting one author a little bit, you're supporting many authors. So that's a personal decision to make. But now here's where things get exciting. So The Voice of War is a independent published book that I listened to this past year, and it is awesome. The author is Zach Argyle. I think his wife is actually Bookborn from Bookborn Reviews. I love her channel. She does great work. But his book is absolutely amazing. I don't know why I've never talked about it on the channel yet. I need to talk more about just how good this is. But as you can see, he has this on Spotify for only $2.99. But this right here shows that independent authors have caught on to this Spotify treating them a little bit better, and they've already started to drop their price point a little bit. So this book is an amazing book for only $3. And I know that he recently came out with a 3-in-1 package on Audible recently. I saw that announcement on his email list. And so I looked up to see if he had the 3-for-1 package on here, and he does. So you can get his entire Threadlight trilogy for only $15.49, which I think is the exact price of an Audible credit. So I got to give a shout out to Zach Argyle for picking up on the State of the Sanderson straight away, getting it on here and making it the same price point as an Audible credit, because this means that instead of me buying his trilogy on Audible, I'm just going to go to Spotify, buy all 3 books for the same price as the credit, and hopefully he'll get a bigger bang of that buck. So people are catching on already. Now I will say not all independent authors have caught onto this yet. Recently, during a 2-for-1 sale on Audible, I bought Gunmetal Gods by another independent author. And when I search Gunmetal Gods on here, you'll scroll down and typically there'll be a audiobook section right here. And you will see their works. So you could tell that there's podcasts on Gunmetal Gods, or episodes of podcasts where they talk about his book, but the book itself is not here yet. So Audible, as of right now, also still has a lot more variety, a lot more corner of the market right now. And I'm sure people will start to catch on and start using Spotify. But as of right now, Audible has a lot more options. They've got a wider variety of books as well. Besides independent publishing, any book you buy from Audible as of right now, you need to check on Spotify first, because because Bernard Cornwell's The Winter King, the first book of his Warlord trilogy, is a great example of a book I should have bought from here if I would have known. So you click on his The Winter King, and you can see that you get his full unabridged audiobook for only $5.99. $5. Like, this is an amazing deal, because it would, if you used an Audible credit for this like I did, you'd be paying 3 times as much on Audible than you do on Spotify. But let's explore some more books I haven't looked up yet to see how user-friendly the app is. So my favorite book of 2022 was The Lies of Locke Lamora. So let's try to look that book. See how user-friendly this is. So The Lies of Locke Lamora. I hope I'm spelling that right. Boom, right there, see? So there's an audiobook section right here. We click on that and you can see it's $27. So that price difference is probably enough to where me, who can barely afford the price of an Audible membership right now, I would probably choose to buy this book on Audible with an Audible credit instead of purchasing it through here. Something important to note about the search engine on here is I didn't type The Lies of Locke Lamora. I might have misspelled Locke Lamora wrong too, I'm not sure. But you can see that it was still able to bring it up. So the search engine's not terrible right now. Let's look up a few more books just for the hay of it. Let's look up The Poppy War, one of my least favorite books of 2022, but an extremely popular book that people love. So let's see if this is on audio. Yep, here it is on Spotify for $5. That's so inexpensive. Like, you don't have to use Audible credits. You can purchase the book through Spotify and have more of the money going towards the author by using Spotify instead of Audible. So honestly, as of right now, I'll probably go ahead and create a Spotify account and start searching every book I buy on Spotify versus Audible, just to increase the market competition a little bit and help support authors. In the least, any independent published book I purchase from now on, I will be running through Spotify first, so that they have a chance to get a bigger piece of the pie instead of most of that money going towards Audible. Especially since the overhead, you don't actually have to print out a paper copy. There's no physical copy. The manufacturing of this, there's a huge upfront cost for people to record audiobooks, but after that, there's not a lot of maintenance. There's not a lot of overhead. So they should be getting a bigger piece of the pie. And I think Spotify and Speechify are both doing that for independent authors. So yeah, that's a quick breakdown of using Spotify for your audiobooks versus Audible. I think the conclusion to this video, for me at least, is that I'm definitely going to start searching for self-published authors on here before I buy any book through Audible. I'll probably start looking at the price of audiobooks on here before I buy from Audible. But I am also going to keep my Audible membership because it looks like the majority of books right now, or at least a lot of the bigger named books, are still going to be cheaper through Audible. So I'm going to be keeping my Audible monthly membership for now and using Spotify to supplement my reading. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more of this, and I release videos 1 to 2 times a week as long as my schedule lets me. So I'll be back with more videos in the future, and until next time, I hope you're out there reading cool new books and exploring cool new worlds, and I'll be back soon. Thanks for watching.